brought up the comparison to stage fright.
Yes.
Um, I've been on stage, and
Musician.
almost every time I do get stage fright,
Hmm.
or I did get stage fright, and it wasn't the same kind of anxiety. It was the I hope I don't fuck up.
Yeah.
I want people to remember this. I want people to have a good time. Um, and for the longest time, I was doing these shows with like 5, 10 people showing up, or I would do a show as part of a repertoire.
Hmm.
Do a couple of songs, with a burlesque troupe, or I was one of 5 acts that
Yeah.
night, kind of a thing, and it just felt like nobody was paying attention. And like you said, is this making a difference to anybody? Is this anything?
Hmm.
And just I had to fight through that
Yeah.
and assert that no, this is what I want, and I'm not going to let that fear of what I'm not going to focus on the worst thing that could happen. I'm going to focus on just having a good show.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be perfect. You can mess up a couple of times and cover it with jokes. You've seen yourself naked enough. You're quick with the jokes. Um, you know, that's kind of the that pushing past the stage fright
Yeah.
aspect of it. But there's also that general anxiety that hangs over a lot of people, and especially now with the economy,
Hmm.
just coming out of this whole plague thing, which I
Hmm.
think gave us all collective PTSD.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Big time.
I don't think anybody dealt with it well.
I think the kids that were in school, during that time when it was shut down and so many kids went to virtual teaching and they were cut off from their friends, it's
Hmm.
going to be interesting to see how that manifests as they get older.
Hmm. And how they reacclimate.
Yes. But it's interesting too. What you're talking about is that when you're performing and there's only like 3 or 4 people, but if you just act as if it's whether it's 5 people, 1 person, or it's Madison Square Garden sold out.
Hmm.
You still have that. It's still the same purpose.
Yeah.
It's still the same. Your task is. It's not about, oh, well, this is, there's only 3 people and do they even care? It's, this is what I'm doing and this is what I
Hmm.
want to do, and not so
And
much like a manifest. What's that?
reminding myself that a lot of the music that I release is very, very personal.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from a place of pain, and then reminding myself that I don't have to stay there.
Yes.
This music is done. This music is out there. Fucking move on. Do something
Yeah.
else. Um, that's another thing that with anxiety you can become trapped in um, these fragments of time or
Mm-hmm.
these memories that just don't go away, and it's like they're always there,
Yeah.
and it's just out of the corner of your eye. There's something that may have happened 20, 30 years ago, but it's always niggling at you.
Oh, big time. I find myself like I'll sit there, like I'll be in the shower and I'll think of something, like something stupid I said in 3rd grade that all the kids made fun of me for, or something, or I embarrassed myself in 8th grade when I asked out Susie Sweet Tits and she turned me down.
Hmm.
It's like I think about, like, oh, why did I do that? Why did I say that? That was so stupid. Oh, what's it? And this is something 30, 40 years ago. It's
Yeah.
like, why am I dwelling on that? That kind of stuff I think pops in, but if you got to laugh when those moments happen. You got to,
There, yeah, there are definitely times where I'm like, why am I still feeling guilty about this?
yeah, yeah,
And that's the other thing too is we've talked a little bit about my upbringing,
hmm,
raised evangelical, heavy, heavy dose of Calvinism thrown
yeah.
in there.
No guilt trips at all in that situation,
None.
right?
But I remember actually being able to tangibly feel shame,
Well, like physically.
like physically feel shame. It was
Oof.
like somebody poured hot water
Mm.
all over my back,
Ugh.
and it just spread everywhere, and I just knew that I was, you know, like this bright red. Um, when it happened, and it's only been maybe 5, 10 years, or no, not even 10 years, but like 5 years since I've stopped having that when I do something wrong or when I mess up on something.
Well, what has changed? Like what? Obviously, your situation, but what mentally do you do differently when you start to feel that shame creep up?
I remind myself of who I am and what I've accomplished, which is sometimes hard to do
Yes.
because, again, coming from that background, you don't brag about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You brag about what God has done in your life, and you brag about, what you have done for God, but you don't
Mm-hmm.
brag about yourself. Um, I brag about myself. I remind myself who I fucking am. you
We got to
know,
celebrate your victories.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
I would.
sometimes, those,
Yeah.
and sometimes those victories are, wow, I made it to the bathroom before I wet my pants.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes, gold star. There you go.
Yeah.
Catch new episodes of Mental Health Mondays every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Start your week off with a smile and some inspiration.